some breaking news here in the sports world that affects us directly. Chief Strategy Officer Paul DePodesta, according to Jeff Passan, according to Ken Rosenthal, Adam Schefter, others, reporting that he has taken a job to run the baseball operations with the Colorado Rockies. Nothing yet official from Colorado or from us here with the Browns, but those reports are out there. They're being confirmed by the biggest newsmakers in the business. Paul was hired in January of 2016 as Chief Strategy Officer, and it is a 10-year run that, according to multiple reports, is coming to an end today, my friend.
Yeah, that would obviously be a big one, as he has been the Chief Strategy Officer here, as you mentioned, for a decade. With Paul DePodesta, and I think it's, his first love, for those of you who watch Moneyball, his first love was always baseball.
Yeah.
And so, I would say if this is what he's doing, good for him, going back to what he, truly loves and is passionate about. I've always enjoyed my time with Paul DePodesta. A very smart guy. Mm-hmm. Hasn't always necessarily what we've done worked out the way that maybe we wanted to. But yeah, an excellent guy. And certainly if this is true, which at this point with the names that are reporting it is obviously, it feels pretty true.
Yep.
Certainly wish him the best. Wish him the best. And I wouldn't read into it that this means there's a whole big shift coming here at this point. Certainly not in this season.
Alone is, though.
But it is
it's
somewhat.
10 years as Chief Strategy Officer. I mean, that's a big shift on its own.
Yep.
To have this news happen.
No doubt.
Today.
No doubt. And, things have, unfortunately, other than, a playoff win in 2020 and a playoff appearance in 2023 with Joe Flacco, which certainly was not part of the plan.
No.
We have not had the success that we've wanted, and we're in, not a tough spot, but we're not in the best spot right now. So you could see a change probably ultimately might be best for everybody involved.
This was probably, what would you say it was? Maybe 3 years ago he came in here? He used to do it once a year. He would come in here with us once a year.
Let me tell you something.
And that's what I would say. Like, when he came in, and it was 2 or 3 times that he's been in studio.
The best.
He's so good at explaining the reasons for why things happen and what you're trying to do.
Totally.
I remember saying this to him that day when he left. I said, I wish I would have heard more from you through the years, because I think that it explains stuff, but
he's
yeah,
great at explaining. He's a great guy.
Really nice
great guy, great family, super nice guy, super smart. And when you talk to him, you feel confident in the plan because he is so smart about it. Everything he says makes sense. It's not like he's speaking in these, highfalutin ways where you're like, I don't even know what he's saying. No, he is. Matter of fact, it all makes sense. Now, it is also true that, doubling down against the 6 when you've got 11 in a casino is the right play. And guess what? It's not a guaranteed win.
No.
And unfortunately for the Browns, we've been on the wrong side of things that when you actually get to hear, as you say, when you get a chance to talk with Paul, and Paul was always an open door for me. I was able to go in and really understand our thought processes on a lot of things, and I appreciate that immensely. Like, I really like Paul DePodesta a lot. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, things just haven't necessarily worked out the way that the good strategy that led to some of the positions we're in we had hoped. And the biggest one, obviously, is what Jimmy Haslam talked about, the trade for Deshaun Watson. You understand why it happened. It has not yielded the fruit that you wanted at that time. But there were always one thing, it doesn't bring any comfort, but there were always sound reasons for the way that the Browns have operated. Like, if you sat with them and you listen to Paul DePodesta and talk about it, you'd be like, okay, yep, that makes sense. I get it. It just hasn't worked out, unfortunately. And I think that part of that is there are things in the National Football League that are intangibles that are maybe not quantifiable in any way. And you talk about, human analytics, but just whatever that is, there are a lot of things there. But I certainly wish him well. I think he will be very good in baseball, which has now become even more so. And he was really at the forefront of it, analytically driven. I mean, think about it. If you watch the baseball game from our childhood, so let's call it in the 80s.
Yeah, late 80s through the early 90s, mid 90s, all the way through.
You knew what a left fielder, a center fielder, and a right fielder were because they played in left field, center field, and right field. You knew where the shortstop and the second baseman were in the first. Like, they all just played their positions.
They played the positions,
but then, as they got into the analytics of where guys hit it, now you got 3 guys over here. You have all these shifts and all this. Everybody's different for every.
Yeah.
It's not like that anymore. And he was kind of at the forefront of that. And Moneyball, obviously a great book, an excellent movie that was made. And I was somebody who grew up out there. I knew about the A's and what they were doing. Yeah, it's unfortunate that it didn't work out. I think, sometimes the best laid plans do not. And I think that there were sound reasonings. And I think we did a lot of things that were really, really smart in terms of how we were able to use the cap to our advantage with cash and all those things that we kind of were at the forefront of in the league. It just, unfortunately, this is an industry where you've got to have that quarterback really to be long-term successful. And I think that is the truest thing in the league. And we have not been able, unfortunately, to find that. And, that's kind of why the Browns are where the Browns are right now. And that quest is ongoing right now.
Yeah. And just for him, in his personal life, Southern California, it's where he calls home. And now that's nothing with Denver. That's an easy commute. And so back to baseball, closer to home, West Coast-ish, at least adjacent. So there's that side of it as well. Just from a timeline standpoint, in terms of my hunch is Colorado would be the one to officially acknowledge first. Would that seem to be how that would go? That would be the Rockies that would do that.
Yes.
And then there would be something officially from us. And again, it's Passion, Schefter, Rosenthal. Like these are all the people that would have this type of thing. So it was broken on the baseball side of it, and then others responded after that. But it was Passion and Rosenthal that were kind of at the forefront of it. But then so in terms of a timeline, then the next thing I think would be curious is, will that position be filled? Will we fill with a chief strategy officer again? Like, what is that? Because it was a triumvirate. It was him and AB and Kevin, and we've talked about this, the power structure and kind of how that all works, and they're all equal viewed, and that's the way that it kind of goes. And they worked very well together collaboratively. They got along very well. Like, is that a position that is filled here in the organization? I think that's the next logical thing to kind of ask.
Yeah, what is it going to look like? And I think once this thing is confirmed by the Rockies, and once the Browns make a statement about it, I think that'll be a very real question. Okay, so what did it look like before? What does it look like going forward? Is that a role that you would like to, fill in going forward, or is that a role that will no longer exist?
Yeah.
Will that be something, we've got with HSG? Like, is that something that becomes now? I have no idea.
Yeah,
I have no idea, and it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, I certainly wish Depot well. I wish it had worked out better for him, because I do think he's a very smart guy. I think that he wanted this team to be great. I mean, I know he did,
and he worked tirelessly.
And he's smart, charming, gregarious, super intelligent, talented, all of those things. And I think the NFL is just a little bit of a different challenge, and the reality is, it doesn't matter how good you are at anything, if you don't have a quarterback in the NFL, it's not going to be a success.
Your blackjack analogy is the perfect one. You can play all the odds in the world, but sometimes the house wins.
Yeah, and by the way,
win a lot.
Those are pretty nice looking casinos that were not built on paying out money.
No, they're not. So that is your breaking news here as we across the second hour here of the program. Chief Strategy Officer Paul DePodesta, been in this position since January of 2016, reportedly moving to Colorado to head up the baseball operations of the Rockies. Still nothing official yet from either the Rockies or the Browns. We'll continue to monitor that, but these are the people that you pay attention to on this stuff with Rosenthal and Passan and Schefter. So they've got it. And that is what is being reported. So for now, we will take that as fact as we move along.